Welcome back, everyone. It's the Bourbon Judge. Hey, back at it again, ready to have a little bit of fun. So today's actually the final episode for my top whiskeys of 2021. So let's kind of go on a quick rewind. So the first part was my top 10 bourbons of 2021. The second part of the series was my top 5 ryes for 2021. And today we're back at it with the final part, which is my top 5, let's call it premier, highly allocated, just top shelf whiskeys. And notice I said whiskeys. I didn't say just bourbons, because some of these are not just only bourbons. So top shelf premium whiskeys for 2021. I wanted to keep these in their own category because at the price point when you do find these, it's typically a little bit much higher than some of the other ones I reviewed in the part 1 or part 2. So we're going to dive into it from that perspective. So again, these are my top 5 premium whiskeys for 2021. What I love about this category is that this is almost like my fun category, right? These are ones where, hey, we know they're expensive, so maybe a really good, let's call it a really good idea would be, if you can't find these locally because they're highly allocated, hard to find, or just really expensive, go to like a local bar or bourbon bar. If you're on vacation or you're just traveling, go to a local bourbon bar and see if you can get one of these as a pour. But as I go through all of these, I will tell you each one, the reason why I picked it and why I added it to this list. Cool? All right. Last but not least, part 1 and part 2, I did not have an asterisk. I'm bringing it back. I got to go old school. I'm bringing back my asterisk. So I couldn't do it. I actually had 6 for this list, but I was like, you know what? I'm sick to the 5, but I am going to bring in my asterisk. So I am bringing the asterisk back, baby. All right. Ready? All right. So my asterisk. The reason why this is an asterisk is honestly because all of these are highly allocated. Again, all of these are expensive, but they're all fantastic, right? So they're all fantastic, all highly allocated, and hard to find. But this is like the allocated of allocated. I have to give a huge shout out to Mrs. Judge. This was a Christmas present for me. I opened this bottle up for Christmas. I was like, I had the whole mouth drop moment on Christmas Day. Did not expect this at all, but Mrs. Judge, she's obviously really good friends with all my store connects as well. And one of my store connects was like, hey, give this to the Bourbon Judge for Christmas. And so my wife bought it for me, which is awesome. I'm truly thrilled. I did not expect to have this bottle. I've never had it before, but it's definitely my asterisk. Coming in as my asterisk, phenomenal pick here. Parker's Heritage Wheat Whiskey, 122 proof, aged 11 years. Absolutely one of the best bottles I've ever had in my life. This is truly an amazing pour. So different, so unique. As you can tell, I've already dove into this bad boy quite a lot since having it only from Christmas. But it's one where I'm looking forward to sharing with my friends. And if you ever get a chance to try this, please make sure you have a small pour of it because it's just special whiskey. Literally. I really want to sip that very badly right now, but I'm going to hold off. All right. So, Bourbon Judge, what cracked the 5 spot? What cracked the 5 spot? And tell me the reason why. All right. So, coming in at number 5, friends, none other than Jack Daniel's Coy Hill. Yes, Jack Daniel's Coy Hill. Now, I will say this is probably the only one of all the 5 where the MSRP is actually less than $100. It's only $75 or $75. However, and I was able to get this for MSRP, but 99% of the time when you find this on the shelf, it's going for like $400, $500, $600. Unfortunately, because so many liquor stores are marking it up. This is one whiskey where I will say I'm a huge fan of drinking bourbon neat. 99.9% of the time, well, actually, I should say everything except for that bottle, I will always drink neat. For me personally, coming in at 143.5 proof for, again, this bottle I have in particular. When I reviewed it and I added 2 or 3 drops of water, it just opened up so nicely for me. It was such a unique and different experience. It just, like, when you added a couple drops of water in, it just had so much more like fruit in it. I mean, tons of like blackberries, blueberries, almost even like some raisins in there as well. Such a great pour. Just drinking it neat was almost honestly way too powerful. It's like, you know, talking about fire coming out of my ears. Almost way too powerful. But this is a fantastic bottle. if you can try it through a friend or at a bourbon bar, absolutely a must-have bottle. Number 5, Jack Daniel's Coy Hill. All right, coming in number 4. So we've all loved this bottle. I don't care what anyone else out there says. At some point in our bourbon journey of life, we've all loved this bottle. We collected different letters. We were like, it's great. It's 93 proof. It hits home. We all loved it. Until we all started to drink a whole bunch of other better bourbons than that one. And they were like, you know what? It's not that good. With the exception of the original, the OG version of it. Give it up for none other than Blanton's Straight from the Barrel. Folks, when I tell you this is the truth, this is the truth. And as you can see, I haven't even opened this one. I literally actually just finished my last bottle. I've been having a lot of fun with my patrons. And my last bottle, one of the contests that we've had a lot of contests from across me and my patrons. One of the contests that I held for my patrons, I actually gave someone a chance to select, a couple different like high-end bourbons. And one of my patrons selected Blanton Straight from the Bottle. So give it up to Blanton Straight from the Bottle. Blanton's is all about sharing with your friends. And in this case, I shared it with my patrons. So this is a new bottle that I have that I plan on opening very soon. This one, I will say, though, is absolutely amazing. It's everything when you think of like a traditional barrel-proof Kentucky bourbon. That is it right there. Caramel, brown sugar, spiciness for days, days, and days on end. Absolutely an amazing bottle. MSRP, though, $150. Highly allocated. Super hard to find. If you do find it, I've seen it in stores, but typically for $300, $400, $500. Hence the reason why it's on this list. Funny part, before we get to number 3, funny part, the number 1 whiskey on this list is actually easy to find, or easier to find. But pause till we get to number 1. All right, coming in number 3. What graced the number 3 spot, Bourbon Judge? Coming in number 3, none other than Joseph Magnus Cigar Blend. Now, I will say, this is batch 52, which is known as the World Cup batch. But I'm not just saying batch 52 is just fantastic. It is. Every single batch of Joseph Magnus Cigar Blend that I've had has always been phenomenal. Nancy Fraley, the master blender and taster at Joseph Magnus, she has done a fantastic job with Joseph Magnus, the cigar blend. Well, with Joseph Magnus as a whole, but especially with the cigar blend. I absolutely love this bottle. I mean, it is like... I don't try to buy a ton of like backup bottles, but the ones that I do buy, those are the ones that really hit home for me and I really love them. You better believe I have a couple backup bottles of Joseph Magnus Cigar Blend. Finished in 3 different casks. So you have Armagnac, Sherry, and Cognac. What for me stands out the most when I sip this bad boy is the Armagnac. You can just sip the Armagnac in it, and I absolutely love it. And I will say it goes well with and without cigar. This is a special bottle that I love it. I mean, I truly love it. Don't tell Mrs. Judge, but I do love this bottle. All right, that's the number 3 spot. Coming in the 2 spot. But before I hit number 2, 3 quick and easy favors. Number 1, hit the like button. Number 2, drop me a comment. Let me know, hey, what's your favorite top shelf premier whiskey that's on your shelf? Let me know what it is for you. And last but not least, also subscribe and hit the bell so that you get notifications each and every time I put out content. All right, so coming in number 2, I respect this company. I had a hard time, honestly, picking between number 2 and number 1. It's almost like if you have 2 kids, little Johnny and little Susan, and you're like, I love both my kids. I gotta pick my favorite. But this one, I had to pick which was my favorite between number 2 and number 1. Coming in at number 2, none other than Old Carter Batch 9. This is an amazing bottle. Also, my second bottle of Batch 9. That's how much I love this batch. Mark and Sherry Carter are, in my opinion, just premier blenders of whiskey. They source great whiskey and they make it absolutely amazing. Truly amazing. This, again, is my second bottle of Batch 9. I love Old Carter whiskey. In this case, their Batch 9 bourbon coming in at 116.8 proof. Absolutely an amazing bottle, day in, day out. What I love about Mark and Sherry, when I interviewed Sherry earlier this year, earlier in 2021, when I interviewed Sherry, she said, hey, Bourbon Judge, one thing that we do, when we're blending whiskey, we don't stop until it's fantastic. They don't just cut corners, put stuff out in order to kind of force feed it, to all the shelves so we can all buy it. They wait until it's absolutely amazing. Thank you, Mark. Thank you, Sherry, for what you're doing, because every single batch I've had is phenomenal. And this is by far my favorite batch of 2021. Absolutely straight fire. Gosh, that's good. That is a good bottle of bourbon. Oh, my. All right, folks. Coming in the number 1 spot. These gentlemen, they, very similar to Old Carter, they take really good bourbon. They make it fantastic bourbon. They're buying different barrels from, different countries. They're importing barrels like sherry, rum from other countries. They're importing it. So sure, from a price standpoint, very high. Which I should go back and say, price standpoint on all these. I did these earlier, but $150 to $200. This one's $200. And with the last one as well, also a $200 bottle. This is the one, though, that you can actually find in 6 states. Kentucky, Louisiana, Indiana, Tennessee, Georgia, and most recently, Texas. But you can also get it shipped to you via Sealbox, which is where I always buy mine from. Go to Sealbox, you can get this. Coming in number 1, no other than 4Gate, and I'm calling out, I love all their batches, but batch 17. The whole split stave where every other stave is like a rotation between toasted and charred. This is absolutely an amazing bottle. This hits my palate as a home run every single flipping day. So much, I'm going to go ahead and pour this. I can't lie. Last night, it was difficult. I took all the batches of 4Gate from 2021 and I just sampled them, had a little bit of water in between, and I had to find which was my favorite because I love the 4Gate products. Batch 17, oh, my. Truly amazing. I will say Bill and Bob, the guys over at 4Gate, they are like mad scientists. Like I said, they buy barrels from various countries. A lot of time and expense. So even though it's a $200 bottle, you understand the reason why it's expensive, because they're taking the time and effort, and also with their partnership with Kelvin Collaboration, to import all these different barrels. A lot of times they're breaking them down. In this case, they're doing a split stave. It's just so sweet, so smoky. They're taking good bourbon that they're sourcing, and they're just making it 10 times better. From me to you, peace, cheers, salute. I appreciate each and every one of you out there. Take care, everyone. Woo! Oh my goodness.